This is not a preamp. Well, not exactly. This is the preamp section of this audio device and interface. This might be obvious to some of you, but I did a poll on my latest video and asked, what is a preamp? Kind of as a bit of a joke. Now, I was pretty shocked to see 19% of you saying, what is a preamp? Now, maybe some of those are jokes, I don't know, but maybe some of them aren't, so I thought I'd make this video. So why do we need a mic preamp? Well, a microphone actually outputs a very low level electrical signal. So when you have a microphone like this one and you connect the XLR to the output here, basically what happens is the sound waves coming from your voice or any other sound source get turned into electrical signals and then are outputted via a XLR cable, and the output of that electrical signal is actually very, very small. Now, a small balanced electrical signal is a great thing because we can transmit that signal over long distances, which is very handy for live events or in recording studios where we have really long cable runs. But because it's so low level, eventually we have to turn that signal up, and that's the job of the microphone preamp. Now, the output level of that microphone is what we call mic level, and once we connect that electrical signal to a preamp, we now need to turn that electrical signal up to what we call line level. And at line level, we can now either convert that electrical signal into digital, so we can capture it on our computer, or we can now manipulate it with other effects like compressors and EQs, or send it to reverbs and delays and all of that cool stuff. The quality of the audio signal that you are trying to capture is only as good as the weakest link in that audio chain. The quality of your room or acoustic environment matters first and has the biggest impact on the sound that you're going to capture. Next important is obviously the performer and the instrument that you're trying to capture. The quality of those really matter the most. Then the microphone, then finally your mic preamp. The better quality your preamp is, the better this audio signal from your microphone will be captured and amplified, and the detail and the character of that microphone will be well preserved. Some preamps are described as clean, pristine, or transparent. Others are described as warm or punchy or colored. And this tonal quality depends entirely on the design of the preamp, what the preamp is made from, what parts of the preamp and components are actually doing the amplification, and how good quality those components actually are. Some preamps can be quite cheap or affordable, like the ones we find in most standard interfaces. Others can be quite a bit more expensive, going up into thousands of dollars, like the ones we're about to look at. Now, most affordable interfaces come with pretty decent preamps. These preamps are built around modern transistors and very clean IC chip technology. Funnily enough, most of these are made only by a few different manufacturers, so the majority of these preamps actually sound pretty similar. Modern transistor-based preamps are generally low noise and transparent and pretty clean sounding, and sometimes can be referred to as sounding a bit sterile, a bit too clean. The tricky thing with these preamps is once they start to hit about 55, 60 dB, we start to get quite a lot of noise introduced and less headroom, and they lose the clarity that they are known for. Instead of these clean, transparent, modern preamps, some sound engineers, however, search for the qualities and characteristics of older, more vintage preamps. Equipment back in the day made from tubes or transformers or older transistor architecture. Each of these components color the signal of a preamp in very, very different ways. The LA610 mic preamp was a famous tube preamp that is known for a very warm sound and was used predominantly in the 50s and 60s. And if you've heard anything from the Motown and Stax eras, you're probably listening to an LA610. Tube preamps are generally warm, colored, saturated, and just have that real vintage vibe. Other vintage preamps like the Neve 1073 don't use tubes at all. They are fully transformer based, but still have that big, warm, saturated sound, but retain a lot of the high frequency information and headroom as well. They can be driven for more saturation, but without sounding too harsh as well. A different type of preamp again, the SSL, is transistor based, similar to what's found in more affordable modern interfaces, but it uses much higher quality, more expensive transistors in its circuitry for the amplification stage. And they are known for sounding very clear and having lots of headroom without adding as much color to the signal, such as the Neve 1073 and the LA610 we just mentioned. These more professional preamps can also generally offer things that aren't found on your more affordable interfaces, such as polarity switches, individual phantom power, and high and low pass filters. I'm not saying anyone needs to go out and buy a pro level expensive preamp. Modern preamps are actually really great for the most part. However, the better quality every step of your signal chain, the better quality audio you're going to capture from your microphone. The quality of the room, your artist, the instrument, and the song in general are what matters the most. But the right microphone paired with the right preamp can go a really long way into making a recording sound great. And it can also mean that we need less EQ and compression on those recorded sound sources when mixing. So this video is just to give you guys some info and background on what preamps are, what they're designed to do, and hopefully that's cleared up a few things for some of you about why we need mic preamps. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about in this video, hit me up in the comment sections down below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mitch from the DIYRecordingstudio.com, and I'll catch you soon.